As mentioned before, with Magento Go, there are many payment options available. During this video tutorial, we'll have a look at those options. So basically, what is available to us and our customers within the Magento Go when it comes to payment? All the payment options are grouped into three different categories. The first one is the payment methods, then the payment services, and lastly the payment gateways. So let's have a look at the payment methods first. The payment methods does not require any third-party services or gateways. A good example of this is actually cash on delivery. So for example, a person will go into your store, he or she will select a product to buy and will actually pay for that product once that product has actually been delivered to their doorstep. When it comes to payment services, customers will actually be directed away from Magento Go. So what this actually means is that a person will actually select the product on your online store, and once they are actually done with selecting all the products they wish to buy, they will actually be directed to a third-party website. On this website they will actually complete all the purchases and the payments, and once they've done that, they'll be brought back to your online store. A good example is definitely a Google Checkout, where the customers will actually be taken away from your site to Google Checkout, and there they can complete all the payment and then come back to your online site. Payment gateways is something that's being used more frequently. Basically what this will allow your customers is to use their credit card in your store, so they can actually go and pay straight away. A very good example of this, one that's becoming very popular, is actually Authorize.net. Alright, now that we have actually seen all the three different categories, let's go and actually see how this works within Magento. Now keep in mind that setting these settings is actually global. So what this actually means is that the settings you apply will actually be applied to all the products. All the products will actually be affected with these settings. So if you, for example, say a Google Checkout for one particular product, all of the other products will actually be available to purchase using the Google Checkout as well. Also, you can use more than one of these services or payment options. So like I've said, let's go now to Magento Go and see how this looks in real life. Alright, now I'm back to my dashboard, the dashboard of my store, and let's go ahead and have a look at those payment options. To do so, let's start with clicking on Start My Store, going down to Payments and selecting Set Up Other Payment Options. Now we have done this before. If you remember, we hit on Continue, but this time we're going to actually click here. So actually we have a look at the list of all the supported payment options. This will now bring you to the page where you can actually see all the supported payment options. As we had a look before, there are three different categories. There's the payment methods, there's the payment services, and the payment gateways. So basically here you will find, as the name actually suggests, all the available payment options within Magento Go. So basically what you would do here is actually you would, for example, click on Check Money Order, and this will actually give you some guidance step by step how to set up a payment method called Check Money Order for your website, for your online store. So by following all this, you will actually set up payment option called Payment Methods Check or Money Order. So once you have read all this, you would go back, click on Continue, and then down the list you will actually find Check Money Order. Here you will enter all the required information according to the steps provided in here, and by doing so you will actually set your Check Money Order payment option available for your customers. So let's have a look at here a bit more. Actually go back and see what other payment methods are available. So there's the first one that I have mentioned before, cash on delivery, there's Check Money Order, there's zero subtotal checkout, and so on. Once again, if you're unsure, I would strongly suggest you actually read how to set up those for your particular online store. Now all this information is actually third-party information, and they will actually guide you in setting up everything that needs to be done. Going down the list, you will actually come to payment services or payment service providers. Now if you remember, this is something that will actually take you to a third-party website. So for example, if you would like to use PayPal Express Checkout, which I have mentioned in the previous tutorial, you will click on it, And here you will actually find all the required information that will actually set up the PayPal Express checkout on your website. Going down the list, you'll find the Google checkout. This is something that's becoming very popular lately, so we'll have a look actually how to set up Google checkout in one of the future videos. And this is actually divided into regions, so these three you can actually apply as for worldwide. So if your customers are located anywhere in the world, you would use any of those three. However, if you're in Europe, you can also use something called Paybox Direct. Or for example, if you are in South Asia, you can use CC Avenue. So basically what this means is that for your customers within Europe, so people who are located in Europe, you can actually offer them to use any of those three here, so PayPal, Google Checkout, 3D Secure Credit Card Validation, and you can actually offer them Paybox Direct as well. When it comes to South Asia, the same applies, except you will actually offer them CC Avenue. Now going down, you'll come actually to payment gateways. Now as I mentioned before, this is actually allowing your customers to pay directly on your site using their credit cards, and there are a couple of those available here. Of course, PayPal also offers this, and Authorize.net, and we'll see how to set up Authorize.net account. Once again, this is worldwide, and there's difference if your customers are located in North America, you can actually offer them a few more different services, as well as for Europe and for Oceania. So to quickly recap, within Magento Go, there are actually three different payment option groups. The first one is actually called the payment methods. The payment methods are the easiest one to set up, and such payment methods actually include cash on delivery payment. When your customers are sent to a third party sites, that's actually called the payment service providers. Those are such as Google and PayPal Express Checkout. So once again, they will actually select the products they wish to buy. Then when they click on purchase or pay for these items, they will actually be brought to one of the third party online web sites. There they will complete the payment, and once the payment is completed, they'll be brought back to your site. And lastly, we have the payment gateways. Now payment gateways are used more and more every day. Basically, this is the easiest way for your customers to actually purchase something from your online store. This will actually, as I mentioned before, allow them to purchase the products from your website using their credit card without actually leaving your site and having to log in into some other sites. So once you have actually chosen which one you want to use, so for example, if I want to use Authorize.net, I will click on it and actually follow all the steps required here to actually, in this case, obtain a login key and transaction key. And once I've done that, I will go back to my actual payment methods page, and actually I will select Authorize.net, which is located right here, and I will enter all the required information, and then I will click on Save Config. Like I've said before, I will actually go through a couple of these so we can actually see how those are set up, all the required information, what is all the required information, and actually how to use those. But as for now, we know that there's actually three different groups of payment options, and we know which one does what.